What's up, guys? Today I want to teach you how you can create some dash effect for your games. And dash is very often used by the most popular games. It's used in 2D and 3D development, so I thought, um, why not to teach you guys how to easily create it. And it's pretty dynamic mechanic, and if your game is already have some dynamic effects, it will be good fit. And yeah, as you see, I have opened this project for us to use. This is from my 2D action development course about Unity. And if you want to learn and check my courses, they will be in the description and also in the comments down below. So feel free to check that. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It will be always greatly appreciated. Now, let's begin with our dash. First of all, we will need few components. Well, obviously, you will need to have some player, which has very basic mechanics, some walking and jumping mechanics done, and changing directions. Well, I have lots of mechanics here, but you only need to have some basics done. And we will need to add one component in our player. So let's select our player, let's scroll down, well, let's hit add component. And the component that we want is basically trail renderer. So type in the search box trail renderer. Let's add it. Basically, this trail renderer will be effect that will come out from our player when he starts dash. And well, this trail renderer has few elements, a few settings, and we can change and play around with it. We can basically scroll this line a little bit down. We can add here some key with the right click. Let's add key. Let's click again. Let's edit key, and I will make it 0. I will hit enter so that we will have this kind of line. It means that our dash will simply fade out with some time. Also, this time of the dash 5 is too much, so I will make 0.5. And let's change color. Let's hit color. What I will do, I will hit this top arrow right here, and I will drop down alpha to 0. It will make our dash to smoothly fade out with time. Well, also we can again click color, and we can click this color element and change color of our dash. Well, let's make it some reddish color for now. And also we should see materials here. And in the element 0, we should change material to be sprites default. So you can type in the search box sprites default and choose that. It's a very important step to create nice looking dash. And that's pretty much it. Basic trail render mechanics that we can do. Now, obviously, we can open our C# script. I will do it in the player script. It will be logical to do it right here. And let's start working on it. So first of all, we will need to have some variables, some containers, which will help us to set everything correctly. So we will need one private boolean. So private bool can dash, and by default I will make it true because when our game starts we should be able to basically dash. Also, we will need to have one private boolean to check if we are dashing in specific moment or not. So let's call it is dashing. Also, we will need to have some kind of speed. So we will say public float dashing speed. And we can make it by default 50 or something like that. We will change those numbers later. We should also have some time, some longevity, how long we want to dash basically. So let's create public float. And let's call this one time to, well, let's call it dash time. It sounds easier. And let's make it by default to be 0.3f. After that, we will need to have some kind of cooldown because we don't want to just spam dash all the time. We want to have some delay between each dash. So we can say public float. And let's call this one dash delay, yeah. Dash delay, and let's make it by default to be 1 second, for example. And also we should get reference for our trail renderer that we just created. So public trail renderer, and let's call this one TR. Now, since we want to control a lot of details, it will be logical to create some coroutine and do this mechanic with the help of coroutine. And coroutines are just special method which helps us to have some delay times, and also have it will be good for this type of mechanics. And to create basically coroutine, we should create special function with the name of IEnumerator. So let's scroll down all the way and let's create IEnumerator, and I will call it dash, very simply. Now, this dash function will be called when we start dashing movement, basically. So it means that at that moment, our can dash should be false because we are already dashing. Also, it means that this dashing should be true because, yeah, as I said, we are dashing. After that, we should basically make our gravitation to be 0, because when we dash, we want to fly in the air for some time. We don't want our player to basically fall down immediately. And that's the one point. Second point is that we also want to store information about our original gravitation to some variable, because we will need to get our original gravity back when we stop dashing, because we don't want to continue walking in the air when we stop dashing. And for that, we will create one float variable. Let's create float, and let's call this one OG gravity. And well, we will save it, and we will say that it will be equal to rb.gravityscale, which will save information about our gravitation. By the way, this RB is rigid body 2D, a reference to rigid body 2D. I named it RB. So if you named your rigid body 2D some other name, you should change this RB. And I hope you understood it. After that, as I said, we should make our gravity to be 0 to be able to fly in the air. After that, we should also get some direction. It will be needed for our movement. And also we should make this direction correctly, because we don't want to dash. When we dash, for example, on the left side, we want to be able to move our player accordingly. So our player should face on the left side. And so for that, we can say, we can create some floats. Let's call it dashing direction. And I will say here, transform dot local scale dot x, because we only care about x, horizontal movement, because our dashing will be in the horizontal movement. And also, to avoid any kind of errors, I will use mathf.sign, and I will wrap everything in the brackets. By the way, this transform, I'm using this transform.localscale.x because when I did my changing direction for the player, I used transform.localscale to change the position of my player, so that our player will face correctly. And as you see here, I'm doing transform.localscale, and I will make it -1 when my player face left side, and when my player faces right side, I'm doing 1. And if we go back, by default, my player has the scale of 1, 1, 1, as you see, and it facing on the right side. But if we change the scale to be -1, it faces on the left side. So it's really up to you. And it's really depending on what method you used. You might also use this flip x function. You might activating this flip x while you are on the left side. So just if you are using same method as me right here, transform.localscale, you can use this this mathf.sign transform.localscale.x. But if you are using flipping function, you need to change this code a little bit, change this line a little bit. Okay, anyway, let's continue. After that, we are able to actually go ahead and dash. So we can say rb.velocity equals new vector 2. And for the x, we will take our direction, which is dashing direction, and we will multiply it to some speed, which is dashing speed. And for the y, we don't care about y, so we can simply say 0f. Okay, after that, what we should do, we should basically allow us to have some visual effects of the trail renderer. And if we go and have a look in the trail renderer, it has this emitting option. And by default, we should deactivate this emitting. I forgot to do it. So just deactivate this emitting. And this emitting basically allows us to have some visuals of our trail renderer. And we should be able to control it by our script. So here we can say tr.emitting is true. All right. After that, we should say some time, which will be dash. So for that, we can say yield return new wait for second, and in brackets we can have some time. So I believe it's dash time, yes. And at this point, our dash should be completed. One dash should be completed, and it means that we should go back and do everything opposite way now. So for example, we can say tr.emitting to be false because we don't want to see any visuals when we are not dashing anymore. Also, we should go and have our gravity back. So we can say rb.gravity scale equals our OG gravity. And after that, we should say that is dashing should be false because we are no longer dashing. After that, we can have some cooldown. And only after cooldown we should be able to dash again. And to do that, we can simply say yield return new wait for seconds, and in brackets we can have some cooldown. And what was the name of our cooldown? Dash delay was name, so we will say here dash delay. And after that, well, obviously we should be able to dash again, so can dash will be equal to true. That's it, what we want to do in our enumerator. And after that, we should call this coroutine somewhere. So let's scroll up in the update function. And in the update function, we can say we can get some input. So if our input dot get key down, and in brackets we can say key code. Well, it's up to you on what key you want your dash to be attached, but I will use left shift because it's most commonly used and I'm used to it. So when I click my left shift, I want to be able to dash, so I will call my coroutine here. And to do that, we can say start coroutine, and in brackets we can say name of the enumerator, which was dash. One more bracket, semicolon, and that's pretty much it. Only thing that is left is to go in the update, and first thing that we should do, we should say if is dashing. So if we are dashing, we can say return here. It means that if we are dashing, we don't want to get any kind of inputs, any kind of information, nothing. We just want to dash. We are doing that not to mess with our dash because we don't want to attack someone while we are dashing or something like that. We only want to dash basically. So yeah, that's pretty much it, how you can create dash. I know if you're a beginner, especially, it might sound confusing. So that's why I recommend you to check my full 2D game development courses, so that when we get to this point, to this mechanic, you will already know a lot of things and it will be easier for you to understand this mechanic already. So for now, let's save this script and let's go back. Let our script compile, and we should basically assign our trial renderer into our player script. So let's find player script. Where is our player? And well, you see the trail renderer field right here. I will just drag my trail renderer and drop it there. And those numbers, obviously, we can change. But first of all, let's hit play and let's test if our dashing is really working. And let's see. Okay, when I click left shift, I'm able to dash, as you see, and it's quite nice. We can also make dashing speed to be something like higher, for example 20. We can make dash time to be higher, and if we make dash time to be higher, it will affect the longevity of our dash. So basically, if we say 0. 0.8, we will be able to dash a lot of times, and I think 0. 0.8 is too much, so that's why I'm saying 0. 0.3. Also, dash delay, it's up to you how often you want to be able to dash. And yeah, that's pretty much all the basic mechanics that you need to be able to dash. If you like my content and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like this one and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.